Virgo Rising December 2021, looks like your home life is ending the year off with some major changes where even as you're heading into a new year, it's closure around the roots of your life that's really taking the focal point as the end of the year. If you're excited to dive into the astrology and the tarot for your rising sign for this December, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you are always up to date with what the stars have in store for you. Before we get into it, quick mention of two things that I use on a daily basis in crypto that you might be interested in. First is Swan Bitcoin. It's where I dollar cost average every month and buy a small amount of Bitcoin repeatedly. And if you use my link down below, you will get $10 of free Bitcoin upon signing up. And the second thing that I want to mention is Cointelegraph Markets Pro, a resource to track news and what's up and coming in the market. So it will let you know whether Bitcoin or altcoins are projected to perform better in the weeks to come. It will also let you know what coins are trending in the news so you can front run them and get ahead of the trade. So I use both of them regularly if you want to check them out down below. Hi, if we have not met yet, I am Maren. I am a professional astrologer using Hellenistic techniques within whole sign houses and the tropical zodiac if you're new here and confused about what system I'm using. We start out on December 4th with a solar eclipse in Sagittarius, and solar eclipses are new moons on steroids. So over the past year and a half, you've had the South Node, an indicator of decrease or letting go, in your fourth house of home and family. And with this new beginning here, looks like there's one takeaway or one kind of initiative that you're working on now that will define the kind of year and a half of ups and downs, of changes around living situation, where things are finally coming to a head and you're able to move forward with a kind of conclusion around where you want to live or your family status. Then on the 6th to the 8th, Mars in your Scorpio 3rd house will be squaring Jupiter in your Aquarius 6th house. So having to work or go after something around content or communication or like a daily effort that you're putting out in your routine on a daily basis is more of a challenge, and then you're working on things that are working for you around your physical health or coworkers. So it's kind of like you have some things that are going well versus your day-to-day grind, which is really taking a toll on you and could be more challenging. From the 9th onward, Venus will be conjunct Pluto in your Capricorn 5th house. So Venus is value, Pluto is massive scale, and the 5th house is children, creativity, and romance. So it looks like as the end of the year approaches, there's a major rethinking of the more exciting values in your life. Could be a new romantic relationship or things getting much deeper in that regard, or could be a creative project that is really becoming more serious and of more value to you. From the 11th to the 12th, the Sun in your Sagittarius 4th house will square Neptune in your Pisces 7th house. So a focus on home and family might be confused by a partner or a profound relationship in your life. So you might be wanting to focus on like your living situation, your family, etc. And a close relationship is making that a bit more difficult. Then from the 14th onward, Mars enters your Sagittarius 4th house. So overall, a lot going on in your home, your 4th house family life. But from the 14th onward with Mars, there could be a bit more trouble. From the 16th onward, Saturn in your Aquarius 6th house will be squaring Uranus in your Taurus 9th house. This has been there for the entire year, but it will be even more important for this month, where Saturn in your 6th house is maturity, it's restriction, it's getting to the bottom of taking care of your physical body and having a routine that like keeps you accountable. But it's where Uranus in your 9th house. So Uranus is spontaneity, it's volatility, it's suddenness, and really extreme changes in your 9th house of where you see yourself going on an educational or on a travel level. So like you're trying to stay consistent with what works for you physically and taking care of yourself, but suddenly you're like, man, I want to go out and I want to do this, and that might be screwing up with your like accountability or taking care of yourself on a day-to-day level. On the 19th, there's a full moon in your Gemini 10th house, which is an ending around career, public image, and a kind of outward goal that you have. Could be a chapter coming to a close around work, could simply be that you are letting go of a plan that you had on a public level as things really seem to be changing around priorities for you. And on the 20th, Venus then stations retrograde in your Capricorn 5th house. A reevaluation of values and what you hold really dear and important on a really, really intense, profound scale in your 5th house of creativity, romance, and children for the next 2 months. On the 22nd, when the Sun enters your Capricorn 5th house, this becomes even more clear and really highlights this rethinking of what kind of creative or romantic things you're going after for the next 2 months. On the 28th, Jupiter enters your Pisces 7th house. So May into July, you might have had a preview of a kind of romantic chapter in your life, something that you were moving forward with that was really important for you in a committed relationship. And then there could have been less focus, a bit of a break, and now moving forward for the first half of 2022, there's a lot of focus on abundance and optimism and expansion in this committed relationship in your life. If you have any thoughts down below about what's coming up for you, I would love to hear any thoughts, any opinions, any projected events that line up with what I'm seeing here. Always interested to hear down below. And let's get into the tarot. Tarot card that we have for Virgo Risings here is the Crash, which is the Tower card in this deck. It's essentially this like trading view deck, and this is their, it's not focusing, but this is their version of the Tower. The Tower inverted, because this came up inverted, is things do not go to shit. So you might be expecting things to totally go to shit coming up. It's actually that they don't, and things work out for you in the end. It might just be that there's a new foundation necessary for you to build that on top of. If you did enjoy this, as always, make sure that you like, subscribe. It does help out in the algorithm. And as the last video for your rising sign for 2021, if you want to mention anything about what you've experienced or like things that transit-wise came up for you along the year that maybe I didn't touch on or I did and you want to emphasize, let me know in the comments. I always get interested to read. I see everything. So for now, I will see you in 2022. Take care. That will be the next one.